What's up, Lashinistas? Welcome to the show. This is the LivBay Podcast, where we talk about the ever-growing eyelash business. If this is your first time listening to our show, welcome. This podcast is dedicated to helping you grow as a lash artist and or lash business owners. Whether you work for yourself or someone else, this podcast is for you.
Hi guys, this is Mike and Shauna. Oh my gosh, I have the worst twitch in my eye. That was so weird. This is Mike and Shauna Jones. We're the owners of LivBay Lash. Our heart is to share with you our uphill battle in this lash industry and to show you what started out of a tiny bedroom in our house, extremely broke, has turned into an 8-figure company. I have the worst twitch. Oh my gosh. Ling Ling, can you see it?
During your last journey, to give you guys a real raw version of
what things are really like. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the secret to retention.
The secret to retention. Make sure you're taking notes. Also, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hopefully everybody's got a really good list of New Year's resolutions they're looking to do. Hopefully the ones you're going to stick to are more for your lash business and not necessarily like the gym and the diet and all the other stuff that usually goes away after 3 weeks. If you can stick to it, great. I'm just saying, hopefully this stuff will really help you guys out and make it a really big, successful year this year.
Yeah.
Before we jump into that.
I never believe in New Year's resolutions, by the way. I just think it's so silly. But good for everybody else. Because I have, I do it monthly. I have things I want to accomplish. I don't wait until, the new year.
Overachiever.
Well, no, I'm saying, that's how we became successful, is we're just got to constantly, Was that arrogant? All right, just forget I didn't say that.
The rest of us losers down here.
No, I'm just saying I'm constantly
No, it's only arrogant if you perceive it that way.
Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. But anyways, couple announcements. Don't forget we're in Edmonton, Canada, so livbaycanada.com. We are slowly transitioning a lot of new products to the Canadian website. We do have some really amazing stuff there, though, so check it out. And we are looking for Canadian ambassadors. So you can email ambassadors@livbaylash.com to get more information about that. Really great perks. You get a nice little discount. You get just a ton of referral credits. It's really cool. Second announcement is Lash Traders. We have an app called Lash Traders. You can download it if you have Android or an iPhone in the App Store. So basically what Lash Traders is it is a central hub for you to sell any unwanted or unused lash supplies. It doesn't even have to be, it could be any brand, it doesn't matter. Or if you're a startup brand, you can actually sell your own products on there. So you can check that out, Lash Traders app. You can download it. If there's any glitches, we're still kind of in this testing kind of testing period of it.
Lash get back to you?
No.
That's good.
So if you have any issues, you can always DM us, but we just did a test run and it works pretty amazing. So it's a really cool app. We're really excited about it. What else? Monthly membership program. Mike and I have a mentoring program, $199 a month. You get free access to Mike and I. Literally have our phone numbers, 20% off products. It's super, super amazing. Ton of benefit. You can be a lash artist, business owner, whatever. And it's just an amazing mentorship program. So you can actually go to livbaysupplies.com.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
What would your New Year's resolution be?
I don't know if I can say that out loud. I'm just kidding.
Just like you get new hubs.
Yeah. No, I would never trade you in.
Thank you.
Especially now that you're 43. I like that. Like when you get older, a little salt and pepper. I have a lot of daddy issues, so it's perfect. My New Year's resolution would be to work smarter, not harder.
Oh, that sounds nice.
I know.
Tell me about that.
I know. Or maybe to go on vacation and not be bothered.
So we were in Ohio for 2 weeks at our other house, and
it was just quite the
it
experience.
was a pretty crazy experience.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place, and it's kind of hidden away from everything in the woods, and that's why we like it so much.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's a lot of still working in the middle of a Christmas break.
Yeah, we're basically just working from a different zip code, basically. It was just
feeding some animals at the farm.
And I was just putting out fires. It was awful.
Alpaca at the same time.
Yeah. But anyways, that's, as a business owner, that's what you get to look forward to. There's a lot of perks because we're able to get out of town. But anyways, okay, moving on to the episode.
You want to know what mine is?
What? What's yours?
My New Year's res would be to actually be a little more present with my kids.
Yeah, I know. We said a prayer the other night, and Olive said, I want mommy and daddy to get off their phones.
I feel bad sometimes. I put them on the back burner.
Yeah. Like when we're dealing with stress.
Last night I did making grilled cheese and put their PJs on them and play with them, bowl with them.
You always do fun things with them, though.
But I do feel a little bit not present sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really is dad guilt, but feeling a little bit.
Aw. Dilf guilt?
Dilf guilt.
All right. Moving on. Get over it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're a man. Tuck the emotions away.
I'm just kidding.
Bury the things down.
Okay, so I thought it would be important if we just kind of go over like retention. I love retention. This topic sparked me because we always get DMs on LivBay Supplies, and they're like, my retention's horrible. What glue is going to fix my retention? And I would love to say that there's this magic potion out there in the form of an adhesive bottle that is going to solve all your retention issues, but there's not. There are so many things, and I have an actual list of things that could be affecting your retention, but I think it's important that we just hit, like, let's say 5 little points to help you with your retention. I know as a lash artist, retention is one of the biggest problems, but if you're able to learn about retention, pinpoint, retention, and not blame it on one specific thing, I think that, you can overcome retention issues.
Should we start with priming?
Yeah, so let's start with priming. So you have to prime the lashes. No. I think it's important as a lash artist, you know what priming is and that you know what to prime with. So at LivBay, since, we started LivBay, we use saline solution 90% of the time. And keep in mind, like, people are going to have their opinions on that. Some people are like, no, we only lash bath, or some people say, no, saline has too much salt in it. No, it doesn't. Saline has like such a minimal amount. It's not going to affect the bond at all. So that's like kind of like a myth. But keep in mind with like anything in the lash industry, you have to do what's like you feel comfortable with and what is working for you. So things that we may... There's 43 showing,
silent scream for coffee.
So things that we are like saying, like, you may not agree with it, and that's fine. Don't like, if it's already working.
Message board and start leaving a nasty reply.
Don't go to the BBB. No, I was gonna say, if everything's working great for you, don't change it just because we said, like, you know what I mean. So, and you may not agree with it, and that's okay.
When we say prime, we're not talking about getting out the little microfiber. Or a little lip gloss wand and just soaking it down with tons and tons of salation.
Salation.
Salicia. Bye, Salicia.
Who's that?
Bye, Salicia. We're talking about just going and putting a little bit on, lightly priming, lightly cleaning the lash with it a little bit, getting it ready for the adhesion. Some people I've seen go out there and literally soak the lashes down until they're completely soaking wet. So maybe that's where they can see some of the issues with all the salt. Yeah,
no, I guess that's a good point. But you want to make sure that you're priming. So whether you use saline solution, a lash bath, or a primer, you need to do what's best for you. At LivBay, if we have oilier clients, or if we're just having like a hell of a time getting the adhesive to like actually adhere to the natural lash, then we'll switch to an actual primer. Primer has the alcohol in it. It's going to strip the natural lash of the oils a little bit more than an actual saline solution. So that's the difference between the two. Some people just lash bath. They just want a lash bath only. That's completely fine. At LivBay, we only lash bath if people are coming in with dirty lashes, and that's an upcharge because realistically, they should be coming with clean lashes to their appointment. So therefore, when they sit in the chair, their lashes are already squeaky clean. We just have to prime them. You want to make sure you're priming on top and underneath, because keep in mind, as a lash artist, your placement isn't always going to be on top of the natural lash. You're going to go to the side, you're going to go underneath, depending on the curl of the natural lash. So you want to make sure that you're priming on top, underneath the lash, and you're priming with whatever you need to prime with. And every client is going to be different. So always make sure that you're priming. That is definitely a step that you do not want to skip out on.
That's a good point. We were talking about that earlier. Remember we said, should we do an episode on where to place the lash if their lashes are going a certain direction?
Yeah.
And I think the best example would be like my neighbor ran over our trees one day while he was drinking and driving. And we had to replant new trees. And they have like those sticks on each side with the string around it, like holding the tree so it grows straight up and down.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the same thing with lashes. Not everybody's lashes just go in a certain direction. You know what I mean? Some go left, some go right, some go up, some go down.
That's a good visual. I didn't even think about that with the trees. Okay. Maybe you were talking about it. I was just shaking my head, yes.
But no, I'm just saying, like, it's a good point when you're talking about priming.
Yeah.
If you don't prime everything, what's going to happen? You only prime the top, and you have to put it in like a little splint to get it to go a certain direction, and you didn't prime that area. Now all of a sudden that lash isn't sticking. it's not going to train the natural lash to go that direction either.
Yeah. I would say the second thing is just knowing which adhesive to get. You want to make sure that you're getting a hygrometer. So many people will DM us like, hey, what?
A hygrometer?
Whatever.
No, it's a hygrometer.
No, I know. Is that how you say it?
No, I was just being funny.
Oh, no, is that how you say it?
Alley Giant.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're funny today.
No, I just have ADD.
Just keep in mind, too, there's not like a magic glue. Like everybody's like, what's your best glue? And it's like, well, all of our adhesive has amazing retention. If you scroll down and you look at like the actual description, it's going to tell you the dry time, whatever range it should be with temperature and humidity. And then you need to look at your hygrometer and see what that range is. And then you are going to shop for your adhesive after you're reading your hygrometer. You want to make sure that the hygrometer is actually in your workstation, not like, I'm lashing here and it's all the way over there in the corner. Like you want to make sure that you have those things set up so you know what to shop for with adhesive.
That's great right there, because here's the thing. Remember back when we first started doing the first couple lash classes and we gave everybody a 5-second glue.
Oh my gosh.
And they put the lash on, and the reason we gave them a 5-second glue was because if they put it on, it would like slide down or take them forever to be able to even get it on in the right direction.
Yeah.
So you kind of center the lash itself, and then they start getting a little quicker. Some of them tried to jump to like a 1/2-second glue right away, and their hand speed wasn't fast enough.
And the lashes were all crooked.
The lashes are crooked. They couldn't get it to bond the right way. So that's the other thing. So first you got to take into consideration what your climate's like where you're at. Obviously where we just were in Ohio with a -6 snowstorm that blissed us versus Vegas where guys running on a t-shirt today, degree weather, and the humidity difference is all going to be part of it. But then you take into consideration what's your hand speed like, how fast are you, what type of glue is going to be. You can have a great retention or a great bonding glue, but if you got really, really slow hand speed and the thing's already curing before it can get on there, that could be another major issue with your retention.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Also, keep in mind, like, you need a hygrometer. Like, there's been so many times, and this isn't making fun at anybody, but this is why we ask questions when we're speaking to people who either bought a glue or looking for a glue. We're going to ask these questions because if we're asking someone, what does your hygrometer read, and they're sending us like the daily forecast, we need like inside. We don't need outside. That's a lot different than in your lashing room. And, that may sound silly to some people, but as a new lash artist, you're not going to know these things, and that's okay. And that's why, you're watching this or you're taking lash classes and learning. But you want to make sure that you are reading up on the, adhesive, your hand speed. Also, regarding hand speed, you want to know when you're going to need a faster glue. So you may start out at like a 3-second or 2.5 second. As you get better, you need to know when to switch that glue out. Or the seasons, if it's very humid and then all of a sudden, it drops down to wintertime, you may need, depending on that range, a different adhesive. So I think that's extremely important to know. So many little things. I'm just going to name this number 3 because a lot of people get frustrated, but they're like, hey, my client came back and all their lashes on the left side came out. So keep in mind that if you are right-handed, you're working from the right side and you're doing the left eye, sometimes you have to tilt their head because there's a longer distance from your right hand rather than the left eye if you are right-handed, if that makes sense. So when you're dipping, your fan and you're placing it all the way to the left side, there's a longer distance. So if you're using a 1/2-second glue, it may have already started to cure before even, hitting the natural lashes on the left side. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Your nails also look great.
Thank you. I switched to dipping powder.
I like them.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that from Fairlawn?
It is.
Wow.
You're just noticing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think I noticed them before, but man, they look really
shiny and nice.
Yeah.
I normally get matte, but yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important, tilt their head. If you're having issues with that.
Hang out to me a few minutes. I'm talking about retention and looking at nails. I'm going to go shop for a training bra.
Just make sure that you're tilting their head so there's a shorter distance time, or, you're just making sure that your hand speed is matching, each eye, depending on where you work from. But I think that's a really good tip too. Number 4, I'm going to say, is making sure that you are burping your adhesive and taking care of the cap.
Can you explain what burping is? There's a lot of newbies out there that have asked about.
From start to finish, basically what you want to do, and I'm going to go through this really fast. When you get your adhesive, you're going to shake it side to side. Don't shake it up and down, because if you're shaking up and down after you already pierced the top and it's opened, you're basically making the adhesive fly up into the cap. You're going to have issues opening the bottle, because if it's reaching the cap, and it's lash adhesive, like it's lash glue, it's going to seal that shut. And then we get complaints like, oh my gosh, whatever, but you're not,
broke.
Yeah, you're not, you have to shake side to side, or get a glue shaker. So once you do that, you're going to open your adhesive. If there is adhesive in like the nozzle, you're slowly going to not like squeeze the bottle, but squeeze it, but just a little bit. And then basically the glue drop that's in that nozzle is going to pop out. You want to use foil or a lint-free adhesive wipe, and you're going to do it at the same time and just wipe that off. You're going to use like a strong like wipe to get it off, because if you think about it, if you already dispensed the drop, let's say 15 minutes later, or maybe for your new client, you have old adhesive in that nozzle and you go to get a fresh drop, it's not going to be a fresh drop because it's going through old adhesive. It's passing through old adhesive. So a fresh dot is passing through old adhesive. That's no longer a fresh dot. You know what I mean? It's passing through like either cured glue or slowly curing glue, and you're going to have retention issues that way. I need like more of like a visual. I'm going to have to do like a little pop-up. But it's super important that you know that. You don't want anything left in the nozzle. And as a lash artist, you should have backup nozzles. We sell them on LivBay Supplies. You can get them wherever, but have them. Because if you ever run into a dilemma where your cap is gross or clogged and you're having to cut it, just get a new nozzle. And then we have a nozzle popper too that we sell on LivBay Supplies. But make sure that I
get the paint shaker. The glue shaker.
So you want to make sure as a lash artist, you're already prepared for these things. Because when I was a lash artist, I wasn't prepared for these things. And I would have to like cut bottles of adhesive open, and then I would like put tape over it. It was like the worst thing. And I wondered why I had retention issues. You want to make sure that you're taking care of your adhesive. You always want to store it upright. You always want to burp. You always want to make sure you're cleaning. Do not use cotton to wipe the nozzle. It has a chemical reaction with cotton. Cyanacrylate has a chemical reaction with cotton. So if you have like a white ring that's starting to get crusty around your glue, you're not wiping with the proper thing. And I can't stress that enough.
That's a good point.
That was what? Number
4.
Okay.
Last one.
Number 5 we'll say is do not store your adhesive next to a bonder. There is ingredients in the bonder, just like when you use a bonder on a lash glue drop. You know how it starts to obviously cure when you use it on, a fresh lash set or fill, it starts to cure. The same thing. If you have them right next to each other after they've been open, the ingredients in the climax will eventually dry out your adhesive. So
have you ever seen it done? If you just put a little glue dot on your tile and take the bonder, put a drop on it, you can actually string it out and watch it literally harden up and seal up. Essentially what's happening in the air together, those two even being that close, is going to dry it out, harden it up like that. And I forgot, we had like 3 people. Remember they complained, they were like, we asked them, hey, is your bonder near the glue? And they were like, oh my God, yeah, they're right next to each other open. They're like, okay, that's why your glue's drying, because they were accusing. They're like, oh, the glue's drying out already.
Yeah, like completely dried out. Yeah. So just keep in mind, there's certain things like that. But I want you to keep in mind, like, let's pretend that you were a lash supplier and think about what you would do. Like, you need to like educate yourself, because there is no magic adhesive. Behind the scenes and what you're doing, that's the most important thing. And like, you guys need to really focus on like your steps, because it is a process of elimination. If your clients have retention, don't feel bad for asking questions too. And if you have clients that are like, my lashes all came out, my lashes are falling out, always get pictures, because what they may think is like a hot mess compared to what it actually is when you see the photos or videos, 2 totally different things. And you just want to, it's all about educating yourself on how to use the supplies. You're only good as your tools. We've said that so many times, but it's really important that you have that education to back up your services. It's really important. And it makes you look good when you know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and the supplies are being brought to you by a former lash artist who knows. And think about it like this, like even our lash classes are taught by lash artists. They're in the trenches all the time using these products, providing feedback, giving us stuff on like tips, tricks, things we're always figuring out. So that's why we give you guys these tips. These are like legit things that are actually happening. Like these are from lash artists who've been in the trenches.
Yeah.
It's FUBU, for us, by us, right?
Yes, FUBU. I like that.
Remember FUBU?
I do remember FUBU.
You guys are probably too young to know FUBU.
Yeah, it'll come back, like the champion sweatshirts and stuff.
Yeah, Z Cavarici.
Oh my God. Well, that was a good episode. Good job, babe.
Very good episode. No, good job, you. Those are some really good points. And those nails.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching this.
Yeah. expensive yet.
Hit the subscription button. Refer a friend. We do this for free.
Yeah. Make sure to subscribe to Lash TEA. And
download Lash Traders.
Download Lash Traders. Until then, we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.